open it up to question and answer if anybody has questions for you.
Yeah. Or Mrs. Weedman. Anybody got a question out there for us?
Yeah, I got one. How's the search engine stuff going with 8 Decades? I know that was going or a struggle for a little bit.
Mrs. Weedman.
We're making progress. Not quite there. You still have to type in the www to get it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So little by little, we're making it, but we're getting really good. All of our analytics through Google search are really positive. So that's great. So I think we're getting there.
Heck yeah, man.
Little by little. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Do you guys have the Airbnbs like bud and beds or bed and bud or things like that?
Bed and breakfasts and Airbnbs. Oh my God, yeah, they're huge in this country.
But with the green, the
yes, there's
bud
actually
beds or whatever they are. Yeah.
In this article that I'm going to read, they're talking about an Airbnb where you can go there. It's cannabis friendly. You walk into your room.
Yeah.
They have everything laid out on a table for you. You can suggest the strain. They will get the strain for you. You can suggest what you want to smoke out of. They'll have that all laid out in your room for you.
Yeah.
It's the full cannabis experience.
That's awesome, hey?
Yeah.
I don't know what states they're happening in, but they are starting to pop up. Like full cannabis experience.
Colorado. I think that hotel was in Colorado.
Yeah. Or if they
my older brother, he travels around the world and that, but he'll only go to countries where he's allowed to do green and where it's quite allowed. Yeah, he loves it, and he doesn't want to go somewhere it's having to do a traditional way. He just wants it to be a free thing, and it's like just that. Yeah, the tourism for greens is going to be massive.
Yes,
getting bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to stay on someone's farm. They're going to Airbnb it where they grow green right there, and you'll be able to eat cannabis, smoke cannabis, maybe go farm a little cannabis for yourself and take it home with you one day and have the full. I'm always about the experience of life.
Yeah.
It's about the experiences. It's about the stories.
People you meet through that are amazing.
Right.
Oh
my God. Some of the best people ever when it comes to smoking weed. You know, I've met some of the greatest people ever from just burning. I mean, not just people I've never even known before and just burning a joint with somebody outside of a bar. And he's from another country, or he's like, I'm like, you want to smoke? Yeah. I've said this story a few times on the show, but I was in Dubrovnik and I smelt weed like 3 alleys away. And I literally smelt it. Mrs. Weedman goes, go find it. And I found it with 2 waiters and I smoked a fat home Croatian joint. Like they grew it there. It was an indica. I was highest, but I smelled that 3 blocks away. 3 alleys. It was alleys. It's all Dubrovnik's all alleys. And we were 3 alleys away and I smelled it. Mrs. Weedman goes, go find it. I was so happy. That made my trip. Because all I was smoking was my pen. Edibles, and I didn't have.
You came back out of the alley like with this big smile, like you
used to make me laugh,
because I had flower, and like that was like our 8th or 9th day there, and I hadn't smoked any flower. I was smoking my cartridge. That's fine, and I was eating edibles, fine. And I brought my little syrup, as I call it, that I put in my drink, and it was infused with THC, but it still wasn't smoking flower. And when I smelt that, man. I don't have any hair on my head, but the hairs on my back stood straight up, and I found that, man. And those guys were dope. They were trying to give me their joint to take. I'm like, no. You got me high, and I offered them. I gave them some edibles. They're like, what's this? I'm like, what? And they couldn't really understand me, and I was like, what's in that joint is in these edibles. They're like, look at me. I'm like, don't eat it while you're working, though. Take it when you get home.
Hey man, I have to say I took some of those edibles that you gave us at that party when we got home. Oh man, I was out.
That's right. You got a cushy roll.
Oh yeah.
You got the cushy roll. Mrs. Weedman's speciality. The cushy roll. There's some people on this call right now that have eaten some cushy rolls before too. There's a few people I see that's eating cushy rolls. That's Mrs.
10 out of 10.
You like 10 out of 10?
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
That's awesome.
Streeter, Illinois is giving that 10 out of 10.
That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty good.
Not even like a 9.7, like a full on 10.
Full on 10.
Full on 10.
Could be a rookie score, but I'll take 10.
I don't know. Like I'm pretty experienced with like dispensary edibles and stuff like that. And that was killer. It was killer.
Huh. That's cool.
So Tez, a cushy roll is something, Mrs. Weeman. It's been an experimental edible that we've been making since 2014, and it's gotten better and better as the years have gone.
That's some
So-
Kind of
heritage.
like a buttery Tootsie Roll.
You ever have a Tootsie Roll before?
I don't know what a Tootsie Roll is. What's
Like
that?
a chocolate taffy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
But it comes in like a
Okay.
wog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
You'll
like
have
a
to-
round thing.
Yeah, we'll send
Yeah.
you. I'll DM you a picture of it, so you know what it looks
Okay.
like. Then I'll send you a picture of a Tootsie Roll. Then I'll send you a picture of a Cushy Roll, so you know what the difference is.
Is it like a Twinkie?
No, Twinkie's
No,
cake.
like
This is candy.
fudgy.
I
Yeah.
know
Oh,
what
there it
they
is.
look like.
Yeah, there it is.
There
It's
it is.
like
Can you see it?
Oh, okay. That looks like a Mars bar.
There you go.
But it's that same chewy chocolate all the way through. It's not filled.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been designing one since 2014.
Yeah.
Sometimes they turn out a little crispy. Sometimes they turn out too chewy. Sometimes they're like sauce.
Sometimes we're too sauced and we make them, so that's what happens.
Sometimes I forget if I put an ingredient in or not. So I got to start over.
Yeah.
But she has Mrs.
But they
Weeman has a
always taste
whole
really good.
lineup of edibles that she makes. A whole lineup that we've
Yeah.
made. We've done, and there's a lot of Polly, Shoddy, Tea. They have had multiple edible making. The one thing that Mrs. Weeman makes, besides my three things Mrs. Weeman makes that's my favorite, is first and foremost the Cushy Roll, because that's the OG.
Mhm.
Number two is the Nami Nugs. Those are fucking
They're
insane.
like a little homemade granola bar. Like a little-
The best granola bar you'll ever eat in your life.
Oh yeah, yum.
Nami
Yum.
Nugs. And then third is the Smoochies, which not Mrs. Weeman's favorite, but I like the Smoochies. And I can
love
give
the
this
names.
I can give this recipe out. It doesn't really matter, the Smoochie one, because you can we got that from somebody. Tyler T the
Made
Tech
it.
loves the Smoochies. Smoochies is 2 Ritz crackers, infused peanut butter, dipped in chocolate.
infused
Oh,
chocolate.
okay.
Infused chocolate. That's
There you go.
and you put them in the freezer and you take them out and you eat one. Oh man. Woo!
Maybe 5 milligrams, right?
Actually, there's a couple people on M Dravid. He used to love the Smoochies, Mrs. Weed,
Yeah.
man. He loved the Smoochies.
They're good.
Yep.
Yeah, right. I did a heap of making that MCT oil the other day with the last of my flour. So yeah, I've got your little message there for the Rice Krispie treats. I'm gonna try that.
Good.
But that's the coconut oil thing through it.
Uh-huh.
Coconut oil with edibles is a way different experience versus butter, because coconut oil is 98% fat soluble. So and we've talked about before, THC adheres to the fat. So versus butter, which is only about 75%.
Yeah.
We've been mixing it too, though. We've been taking ghee and coconut oil, mixing them together. Ghee is unclarified butter, and we've been doing that for some recipes, and that's pretty fire too.
Yeah, right. There's some more lipids in the fat or something, isn't it? That spreads across.
Yep. Sticks right to it.
And
That's
the
what we
flavor,
want.
the nutty flavor is good. It complements the cannabis. I think it gives
Yeah.
it a good flavor.
Yeah, I've done a lot with the butters and that, and even into olive oils for cooking prior last grows. But yeah, this time I've done it all into about 2 liters of MCT oil. I'm just going to spread that across all the good things you can make.
Yeah.
There you go. So I've eaten a ton of gummies. Mrs. Weeman's eaten a ton of gummies. Gummies here in the States are made with most of them are made with distillate, and which is basically a butane process. I've talked about distillate on the show many times. I'm not a fan of it. It's just, to me, it's not my thing. I rather eat a butter infused or a coconut oil infused edible versus something that's made with, because it's more natural. It comes right from the plant. You're making it, boiling it. So I like Mrs. Weedman's edibles, cookies, all that kind of stuff. I rather have a butter or a coconut oil extraction method versus distillate and stuff like that. It's just been my
Almost
thing.
definitely.
How's the current grow going?
All right, so I have, and I haven't talked about it yet because it's actually got it's harvested. It's been drying. Tomorrow is the 15th day, and I didn't want it to go past. I went and checked it today, felt it, still a little wet, still a little sticky, icky, dicky. So this is the strawberry Kush breath. I only got one plant out of this grow, and I learned a lot from this grow, and I've talked about it. I used only organic soil, and what I made a mistake was with the organic soil, you have to change pots. You have to go from your little Dixie cup, your solo cup, to your 1 gallon, to a 3 gallon, to a 5 gallon, or a 7 gallon. I've been keeping everything in a 3 gallon pot. Like I've talked about in the tent because I don't have a ton of room, and I use nutrients, of course, so it kept the soil going. This with organic, you're not adding nutrients, so you got to update the soil all the time. You have to update the soil. You have to add more to it, and that's what I fucked up on. So I didn't get the yield I wanted off this one plant, but the yield I did get, man, there's some friggin' crystals on this bud. I'm gonna take some pictures tomorrow when I'm putting it in the jars tomorrow. So I'm gonna take some pictures because it's crystally. It's gonna smoke. I always smoke throughout. So when I was drying it, hung it to dry, I cut a nice little mid nug off, and asked Mrs. B, man, it was during COVID, so she couldn't smoke it with me, and she wasn't smoking at the time. She was only doing edibles, and I was baked as fuck, and I had to go to the Jewel to go pick us up some food, and I was so baked I couldn't find my way around for a second. And Mrs. B, I was pissed. She goes, "You can never go to the grocery store high because you didn't find anything on sale. Everything was fucking. What are you doing? What are you doing? You spent triple the amount of money on 2 bags of groceries that I get 10 bags of groceries. No, just like 4 bags of groceries on." I'm like, I was baked though. I was so high, and that stuff wasn't even dried. It was wet. It was sticky. It was fucking amazing, and I was baked. And I actually smoked the rest of it a couple days ago before Mrs. Weeman could share it with me because I just couldn't wait. And I was high again. So I got 2 nice fat bowls out of it, and I was baked. Tomorrow, while I'm trimming the rest of it off before I put in jars, of course, you have to honor it and you have to smoke it.
Absolutely.
So I'll probably grind a little bit up, dump it in the bowl, and smoke it. And while I'm trimming it up to put in the jars, and then 6-week curing time is how I do it. But I smoke at least a little bit out of every week. I grab a pinch to grow an inch and smoke a little bit as we're going along. So, and test it out till it gets to 6 weeks. And then once I get to the 6 weeks, when I decide it's good enough to give it to somebody, or have somebody smoke it with me. That's just me. So it has to be ready. Mrs. Weeman will smoke it with me. You know, she's done the Majin Vegeta and all that, all the other past all along. But this one tomorrow will be the first time she tries it. We're gonna you can't put in the joints you can't even hardly grind it. It's so wet. It fucked up my grinder when I tried to grind it. It's like my grinder won't work now. I have to trim with a scissor. It's too sticky. It fucked my grinder up. I wish I could I'll take a picture of it and show you how fucked up my grinder is right now, how wet my bud is right now. Even the fucking Majin Vegeta. I rolled those 50 joints for the party.
Mhm.
And well, I didn't roll, I stuffed 50 joints for the party, and that Majin Vegeta was still so sticky that ask Mrs. Weeman, I have to get a new grinder, a new 8 decades grinder already. That grinder is fucked. So fucked up, man. That Majin Vegeta, you won't be able to see it. I'll take a picture, Tez, and send it to you guys on Instagram. It fucked it up. And this is a good grinder too. We collabed with a company on this grinder. This grinder is like top grinder. My weed fucked that grinder up.
That's some sticky weed.
Sticky, icky, dick. No, did you get a joint? I gave you a joint, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Did you like the Majin Vegeta?
Absolutely.
We smoked it outside too. We smoked like 3 or 4 of those with like 5 up. We did. I forgot about that. Sorry,
that was a long night.
Oh man, that was a fun day.
Emily asked a question in the chat. She said, just out of curiosity, out of the strains you've grown, which have been your favorite?
Okay.
Oh, Sam.
So good question. So I've grown 1, 2, 3. Well, okay. I won't talk about the weed I grew in Florida. We'll just talk about when I started growing weed legally here in Illinois. We'll start with that. The first strain I grew was I got some seeds from a friend of mine in Michigan, and this is not Wes, another friend, and he gave me lemonberry, and what was the other one? Lemonberry and it was another berry one. So 2 of them. Those 2 were really good for my first grow. I sucked at it. I knew I didn't know what I was doing, and I met Wes. And I met Wes through a friend of mine from Southern Illinois, and Wes changed my whole way of learning to grow, like new. Okay. And Earl 217, you've heard me talk about him a bunch of times. And
He's cool.
he sent me, it didn't have a name. It was the Weedman 420 Chronicles. Experimental strain is what I called it. But he had a name for it. I don't remember the name, so I just called it that because it was my experiment. He sent me some seeds. First time I ever met the guy, super dope. Gave me a little help, little tidbit here and there, what to grow, like what to do. So I threw a couple of his beans in when I was growing the berry white and it is berry white and lemonberry. I remember, see? Berry white and lemonberry. And those looked like Christmas trees with little nubs on them. That's how they were turning out because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I threw this in, and this thing shot up real quick. But I had to put I was about to like really pull this out. So I got a little Weedman 420 Chronicles, but it was only about this big, and it got like 4 buds on it, and they were like a couple inches here and there, crystally as fuck. It was different. I was like, this fucking strain is different. So then I grew his strain 3 plants, and the Weedman 420 experimental strain was dope. Then I got Majin Fujita. That strain was a fun strain to grow because it was a sativa leaning strain that fucking outgrew my fucking tent. Right, Mrs. Weedman, I could not control that plant, and I trimmed that thing. I filmed that thing like 4 times, and that thing was pew 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 pew. The whole fucking there was no room in the tent. Some beautiful buds. I put pictures on them. So the Majin Fujita and Emily, you smoked the Majin Fujita. So, and then right now I'm growing the Strawberry Kush Breath by Tarantula Genetics, and I haven't fully smoked that one yet. So out of the strains I've grown, I say the Weedman 420 Chronicles experimental strain to me is my favorite. It was a turning point for me in growing because I had somebody mentor and coach me a little bit, gave me some tidbits. I got to go to Earl 217's house, look at his grow. Oh my God. I mean, just amazing, because he's a caregiver in Michigan, and his grow setup is mwah. And it's beautiful. And his genetics is really, really nice. I mean, I got some other stuff he's given me I haven't even touched yet because I rolled through some other stuff. So, but his genetics, and I mean, I went and smoked. He got me so fucking baked the first time I met him. I didn't know which way I was coming. I ran over a curb trying to get to my hotel. That's how baked he got me. He got me, man. He got me high. So, Emily, thank you for the question. I would say right at this moment, the Weedman 420 Chronicles experimental strain has been my favorite.
Okay, awesome. I was just wondering because I'm actually growing 3 strains myself. Well, my dad and I are growing them. And I was just asking out of curiosity.
What 3 strains are you growing right now?
I'm growing White Widow because that strain actually, it doesn't mess with his meds as much as the other strains do. I'm also growing Granddaddy Purple and Super Lemon Haze.
We love the Granddaddy Purple on this show. Love the GD Perp, baby. So if you send me a nug of anything, me and Mrs. Weedman will do our normal research, unless you have what's in your strains, and I will smoke your strain on this show, and I will 2 bongs up, 2 joints up, whatever. I've said it before. Anybody who sends me a nug, I'm not looking for pound. I'm just a nug, just a little taste, and I will rate I will like just talk about your strain. And if you want to tell me where you're from, how you're growing it, I will talk about your shit on this podcast.
Okay.
So if you're willing to, I'm willing to do it for you. Send me a little note what's in it. I'll talk about it for you.
If my Wi-Fi allows me, I can actually switch my phone and show you guys.
Hell yeah.
I'm from British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, you grow good weed in British Columbia.
All right.
You grow phenomenal weed up there. Like, good deal. So, but delicious, delicious weed in British Columbia.
I'm just trying to figure out how to put my camera on super quick. Does that make a difference? Do you guys see anything?
No.
I see clouds.
Yeah, I can
Oh.
see the sky.
And it might be.
Oh,
the
you're growing
wrong
outdoor?
way.
Are you growing outdoor?
I am, yes.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Kind of like Tez in good old Western Australia.
Okay, well, I could switch my phone this way.
We can see it. Oh, we can see your plants in the ground. Yeah, yeah. Go down a little more. Go down. Right there. There they are. Oh, look at those. A little blurry.
Oh, yeah.
We could see them.
I can't see it.
Fat leaves.
Oh, they're babies still. They're
Yeah, they're just
babies.
babies.
Oh yeah.
Those
So
are
you have
big
to
old leaves,
you'll have
though.
to DM us pictures. DM me pictures as the growth comes, because you're growing outdoors. You're gonna get 12-foot plants, 12 to 14 footers, right? Is that where your potential grow? Because you're gonna have to put those things in bigger. Do you grow big?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do grow big. We have this whole kind of like solarium built for them that we transfer them afterwards once they're bigger. But where they're growing is in Spence's Bridge. So there's actually a lot more sun and a lot more like even weather than like in the mainland Fraser Valley area. So we get a pretty good outcome because we grew different strains last year. I don't know what we grew. It was like a mystery. But
Hey,
it
Shoddy.
worked.
Shoddy.
Yeah.
Maybe when Mr. and Mrs. Weeman come and visit, we could take a trip up to British Columbia and see their farm.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not too far from you, Emily. We're in Seattle.
Oh, that's super close.
Yeah, neighbors.
So I instead of getting you in trouble and shipping that over to me, I'd rather come and visit Polly and Shoddy, and then we come visit you and have a smoke sesh.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Do that instead of getting anybody in trouble. I mean, I don't mind, but I'd rather come there and we can film there, me smoking on Instagram there, and we'll rate your strain there in person. I'll do that.
Awesome. And then I could also show you guys like the waterfalls and things that are near my house.
Oh,
Like
look
near
at
the
that.
area.
You just made Sam, Shoddy, and Polly's day because they're
It's on our
hikers.
list.
Sweet. Will you DM us? You can either DM Mrs. Weedman on 8 Decades on Instagram there. You can DM me your info and I'll send it over to Shoddy and we can in the future hook up. We could all meet up and smoke and hang out, meet your dad, and everything would be great.
Awesome, thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
and I'll do that
What-
right now.
Emily, what's been your favorite strain to grow?
I would have to say so far the Super Lemon Haze because it has super cool phenotype so far. But I'm most excited for the Granddaddy Purple because I've actually smoked that before, and that was my very first strain that I've ever had after like my dad gave it to me, and like he broke the stigma of you will go to prison if you smoke weed, and like that was the first one he gave me, so it was pretty fun.
Neat.
Love it. We love when I first got my med card here in Illinois, that was one of the first strains we got, Polly and Doveboy and T and Shoddy. We had that wall of fame. That was one of the tops back in the day in 2018 when I got my med card. That was a good strain.
What did you reckon I should throw in for my first go at indoor?
You asking me or you asking Emily up in British Columbia?
Oh, well, anybody out there.
All right.
I'd love to hear any feedback.
Are you an indica man style plant? Are you a sativa style
Yeah.
man? Are you a hybrid guy?
I do like my indicas, my indica dominance as well.
So I don't mix. It might be weird, but I don't mix that. I don't like to grow indicas and sativas around this. Don't ask me why. It's just something, maybe because I might get them mixed up. So I like to grow one style of plant or the other style.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same.
And lately, I like just growing one style. And everyone's like, well, why? I have one little tent. One. It fits 2 perfect, 3 tight. So I don't like to mix. And I've been sticking with just one grow at a time. Like right now, I just grew and it's just me. I know guys that grow 3 or 4 or 5 strains in their tents. I like to grow 1 or 2. One is like my priority right now because I can concentrate on one and give that one all the love and it deserves. So if I was you, there's a good seed bank I just started using and that's where I got my Umami Seed Company seeds from. It's called Neptune Seed Bank. I'm not promoting them. I don't get any money from any of those guys. I like that bank because I get an email every week what they have from all the different breeders that they work with. It's pretty dope.
Yep.
They're pretty good. But also, I've met a lot of people now who grow and breed they send me seeds, which is fucking awesome. Or I go see my friend Wes. I get some beans from him.
Yeah.
So I've connected with some people now. But then, like I said, if you're looking, out there, you can find some great breeders out there. Two, I suggest if you can get it, I would grow just a heavy indica, man, and just get fucking baked. Just
Hell yeah, man.
heavy, just like couch lock
Yeah.
baked. That's what I like. I mean, I love getting good old couch lock.
Yeah,
There's nothing
mate.
better
Yeah.
when you're watching a movie, when I'm watching a show with Mrs. Weedman and I'm couch locked and I'm zoned in and Mrs. Weedman's trying to talk to me and I don't even hear her. That's the best kind of weed. Only when you're watching a movie. Only when you're watching a movie. Because I don't want to hear anything.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
when I'm on that,
I agree.
it's very tough to find a strain that gets you there. But I've had some really good ones that have gotten me there where I'm just like zoned and Mrs. Weedman's literally screaming at me and I don't hear her at all. That's a good strain. I'm not saying I don't want to hear Mrs. Weedman. I'm saying that's a good strain.
We get it.
Nah, okay, cheers. Nah, because I got like this whole room in here of I'm gonna put her in and have a go. Maybe two plant setup.
Sweet.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna
just keep it the same strain, same everything in the one box. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna get a tent?
Yeah, just gonna put something in here. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Should be good. First go at it, and
Yeah,
I'm not gonna even worry about doing outside at the same time. Just keep it to one.
I'm still gonna throw one. I haven't thrown it outside yet because the weather's been so crazy. But I'm about as soon as I throw these plants in a jar, I'm starting my next grow, and I think I'm gonna take one and put it outside. I like doing one outside,
Yeah.
maybe two, but one is just in the pot outside. See what I can get because last year I'm bummed I didn't get any buds last year. The plants I had some really nice plants growing outside last year, right, Mrs. Weedman? They were nice, and they were both fucking males, which sucks. I saved the pollen, yes,
Yeah.
but I was bummed because
I hate that moment.
yeah, I was pissed. But I got some feminized seeds that I bought from somebody that I think I'm just gonna grow feminized in this next round, and then put one outside and see how it goes, and maybe get like a 10-gallon pot. I know friends of mine put it in like 50, 100-gallon. I don't want it that big. I like to keep it like 6-8 feet would be perfect. Just so my neighbor can pick a bud off and go smoke it in his yard if he wanted to.
Yeah. I have to be careful here with the sun and the rain and the heat. Like they get up to 12 foot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they crank up. I've come home from work when I used to work away for a couple of weeks, and they started getting a bit hectic.
Wow.
You could see them from the road, or I'd be like, all right, let's sort this out.
What kind of yield do you get from them? You get like a pound when they're that big?
That's really good going, but that's doable here. Yeah, for outdoor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts the sunlight we get here.
Huh.
Paulie said kilo.
And like I had a little go with the greenhouse for a bit. And it got the heat. It was too much messing around with trying to keep it. The sun and everything was awesome, but the heat, oh wow,
bad.
Got right up there. So I'll give this indoor a crack, eh?
What's that?
I'll give this indoor a go.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
I think you'll like the indoor because you can manage it really nicely. You can manage your temperature. You can manage the climate. Your humidity.
Bees.
You can manage your humidity. I still need a better humidifier though. That's the only thing. In the wintertime, it's very tough to grow weed, cannabis in the basement here in our house because the humidity. So I always have a little bit of issue in the wintertime with humidity here. In the summertime, spring all the way till October, November, great. Humidity is perfect at all levels. But yeah, the humidity is a good thing. But what I was taught and what I've read, you just need the biggest thing is your genetics and your light. And when you grow indoor, got to have a good light. Spend the money on what you need.
Yeah.
The tent, it's fine. You could buy any tent you want. You could buy a $60 tent and it'd be fine. You need a really good light. You need really good genetics. And depending on if you're going to do nutrients or you're just going to go straight organic, and how you're going to do that. Because like I said, I grew the Macho Fujita in 3-gallon pots, and those things, because of the nutrient mix I was using, through the roof. But the organic grow is a little tougher because you got to monitor your changing of pots. So, Paulie, asking, do you do compost?
Yeah, mate.
You do?
And bit of roadkill, like there's a few dead roo or things like that. Put that around the bases, do up a mush, and really get them cranking up. Fish, dead fish. Yeah, I've been trying a lot more of just sort of outdoor organic, and I'm all on rainwater here.
Oh,
and
that's
I have
beautiful.
bore water as well, so I've tried it with bore water and just trying fully on rainwater. Just trying all sorts of things to get them all
Well,
as
Paulie just threw
natural
me.
as you can get it.
Paulie just threw me under the bus. He's like, I'm trying to get Mr. Weedman to do compost. I see. Here's the deal. Calling me out like that. I'm not. Someone has to teach me how to do it a few times, and once I learn, then I'll do it. I'm gonna take up doing what did I just say, Mrs. Weedman? I'm gonna start learning how to do
jarring, pickling.
Oh, pickling. I want to learn how to pickle. So
this.
I've been wanting to do that for a while. So I'm gonna start pickling. I'm fucking excited, man. I love eating pickled carrots and celery and beets and all that shit. So I'm gonna learn how to pickle. And that's my next thing. So composting, Paulie, when you come home and when you decide to live close by to me again, then you could teach me how to compost. And I'll use that for my outdoor weed. My indoor weed, I'm gonna stick with what I know. But Taz, use your compost, man, for your indoor grow. That'd be dope.
Yeah, okay. But I just bought
Mix
the
it
thing
with
from a little hardware, like a round, like a bin thing, and you put it all in and just slowly throw your scraps in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been awesome, that.
Nice.
I don't know. Could
So
you
you can use that.
compost indoors though, or would it be too smelly?
For indoor, I don't know.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be stinky.
Maybe
Could you do a mix.
Make a mix. Yeah. There you go. Just use a little bit of compost. Don't put like a whole ton. Don't do a whole barrel. Just mix it in with your normal soil you're going to use.
Right.
Yeah. It'll have all those microbes already in it then.
There you go. You might get a shroom growing in there too. Then we'll have a real good time.
Oh. Kanga shroom.
All right. Paulie said 70% soil, 30% compost.
Yes,
there you go. Okay. There you go. Well, Paulie, send me some of your compost from Seattle then, and then I'll use it here.
The other thing was also is there anything with the silver and white lined in tents? Is that just?
It's to keep the light shining 360 around the whole tent.
What one's better, white lining or silver?
I use silver. That's what I've been using from day one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There's a couple options there. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I used. I bought the, and I don't want to give them a plug, but I'm just gonna tell you who I bought. I bought Gorilla Tent. That's who I bought from. They got good ratings. I read a few things about them online. So, but you can, it's not that. The tent's not the biggest thing. You just want to get silver lining, So I know people some people that grow it in their room, just get the silver lining wallpaper kind of stuff and just put it around their room that way instead of buying a tent. So, Noah, what do you plan on growing?
I really want to take a crack at Northern Lights. That's one of my favorite strains. So.
OG right there.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That and probably one of the cheese strains.
I like
I'm not
yeah.
I'm not familiar with them, but I mean, I'll give it a go.
Well, tell me how you like it.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
said, I'll cook with the cheese strain. I won't smoke it. I won't smoke it. So, well, everybody, I want to say thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you
No
all
worries,
listening. I appreciate you all listening from, British Columbia, Streeter, Illinois, Western Australia, and everybody that joined us on Instagram. I appreciate you. 100th episode. I'd rather go out like this and have some fun and just say fuck it, So we appreciate you all out there around the world for listening. We love you all. Mrs. Weedman,
Yep.
you got anything else to say? Because you haven't said much. I'm bummed. I apologize.
Really high.
All right. As
Oh,
Paulie
shit.
always says,
Smoke smart.
puff puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.